Very good morning to you, and today is another opportunity for me to interview a CEO in the oil and gas sector. And today I'm absolutely delighted to welcome back Andrew Benitz as the CEO of Jersey Oil and Gas. Welcome back, Andrew.
Good morning, Malcolm.
Nice to see you again. Quite a lot has happened in the last year since you sat in the same chair. But before we go into the details, for those people who don't know much about Jersey Oil and Gas, would you mind giving me a sort of overview of the firm?
Sure. Yes, it's been an adventurous year, but let me take you a step back to the formation of Jersey Oil and Gas and what we are. So we're a North Sea focused upstream business. We started 3 years ago in 2014, and we started with the objective of looking for value opportunity across the industry. We looked at internationally to begin with, and then as we saw the markets showing signs of a crisis forthcoming, we decided to focus on the North Sea, where we felt that there was still opportunity to not only pick up assets in a declining market, but also there was longevity. We strongly felt that there was longevity in the North Sea, and so we were keen to focus there. And so we began to look for opportunities, and in August 2015, we came across a company called Trap Oil. And that was a company that was at the time in financial duress, and we saw an opportunity to take over the business and consolidate it, recapitalize it, and manage an existing portfolio. And we've done that. And what it's led to is a very successful transaction with Statoil. Right at the most challenging part in the market. The oil price was below $30 a barrel when we struck the deal with Statoil, and it goes some way to demonstrate what they viewed and what we felt was a very interesting exploration opportunity, primarily the Verbier prospect, which has gone on to be drilled last year. And really, that's where we are. It's a simple story. Last time when we sat together, we were hopes and dreams, and now we've got reality. We've made a major discovery. It was the largest exploration discovery in the North Sea last year, and we're really excited. As of last week, we put out news that we will be appraising Verbier later this summer.
Good. Well, we'll come into all the bits and pieces. So it was a transformational year last year with Statoil at Verbier, obviously. Tell us about the drilling campaign. It didn't go without one or two small hitches, did it? It wasn't as straightforward as you might have hoped. How did it go?
It's an amazing experience to actually sit a well and watch it being drilled live, and it was a real heart-thumping moment. And the first results came through. And we'd encountered reservoir, but it was deeper than prognosed and water-bearing. And there was a very quick, rapid evaluation primarily driven by Statoil to identify whether there was up-dip potential. And it's testament to Statoil's capability as an operator that they made the decision to push forward with the sidetrack well. And that was based on an evaluation that came from the well analysis from the first well. And very fortunately for all parties, we pushed forward and drilled the sidetrack. The sidetrack results that came about a month later were 180 degrees. We'd found those sands up dip and found good quality oil. With a range of reserves of between 25 and 130 million barrels recoverable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was as a result of the well you came up with that range, and that range is what we can talk about the other prospects on the license in a minute. Farming up to Statoil was a smart move. There's no doubt about that. And my people in Statoil said that it was one of their best prospects for last year, and they weren't wrong about that. What are the benefits of working with a super major like Statoil?
Well, I think if we go back to the farm-out process, you have to put into context that this was the first promoted farm-out of an exploration play in the North Sea in 3 or 4 years. So it was definitely unusual. But we had put together in-house a very thorough farm-out package. So we'd done a huge amount of G&G work in-house that allowed us to be ready to begin a farm-out process. And we were surprised and encouraged by the interest across the industry. There were a number of very large companies that were interested in what we were displaying. Statoil moved very quickly and were very keen to come in, and there was good reason. They saw an opportunity in Verbier, which proved to be accurate. Working with them, I think, has been a very encouraging process for us. Sometimes smaller companies can be left on the sidelines, whereas Statoil has been inclusive to us and very proactive and engaging. And we've had on the back of this discovery a number of technical meetings across the joint venture partnership, and we're encouraged about how they are willing to listen to the other joint venture partners. And that's why it's really important from our perspective that we're doing our own technical evaluations post the Verbier discovery to really identify what there is, not only in Verbier but also across the rest of the license. So yeah, we're encouraged. The actual drilling program itself that's Statoil operated went very smoothly. The two wells were both drilled on time, within budget, and we got all the relevant data that was necessary. So you know, we're in terms of the operational progress, we're sitting on the coattails of what I consider to be one of the leading operators in the industry.
So as a result of that discovery, you're back drilling again this year. You've recently announced your program for this year. What does that entail? What's the upside? What are you looking for?
Well, I think, to be honest, it's going to be quite similar to last year's campaign, except this year we've banked a discovery, and now we're going to just see how big it is. But we announced that there will be all the plans for an appraisal program this summer, which will be appraising Verbier, and then a possible additional well.
So you booked the rig? You got the rig?
So that's work in progress. We're in advanced negotiations on that. We look forward to updating the market as and when it's ready to be announced. What will happen is as we go through the course of this year, the program will be firmed up. The long lead items will be secured, and the contracts will be tendered and procured for all the services, and we anticipate it running very similar to last year's campaign. This time the difference will be that we didn't know whether we had anything last year. We now know we've got something, and we're going to find out whether it's between 25 and 130, and what range it might be.
So the position of the well is specifically to try and see how far away it is, or how deep it is, or what's the plan? And you want to get to the top end of that range, I guess.
Absolutely, and our view from what we've seen so far is that the appraisal program that is currently planned can take us to that stage where hopefully we can prove up the 130 million barrels.
Now the license doesn't just hold Verbier, does it? In your programs and bits and pieces, in your presentations on the website, you've got Cortina and Maribel on the same license. Tell us about those.
Yeah, it's quite a big license, and it surrounds the old Buchan field. And what we've identified through seismic interpretation and geological analysis is that there are a number of Upper Jurassic stratigraphic opportunities on the license. As you pointed out, they're all ski slope related prospects, but Cortina has been, in our mind, somehow de-risked by the discovery of Verbier, and we see follow-on potential with Cortina, which may hold a very similar volume in recoverable oil. Maribel's a little earlier stage, but we are doing work on that and trying to see the opportunity there. And there's room for opportunity within the license beyond those prospects. So there's a huge amount of work that's been done across the acreage to really understand what we have.
And this year is primarily, obviously, to drill Verbier and to sort that out in terms of numbers and so on. Yeah. You won't do anything else on the other prospects. You're continuing to work on the other prospects.
We are continuing to work on
but the plan is then to take that further with subject to what you see in Verbier.
Yes, I would say that for this year, all eyes are on Verbier. We're going to fully appraise that, and then we'll move over to other exploration. Yeah.
Now, finances, always one at the top of the list of things I ask. I know that you did a raise in November, not long after you'd sort of got all the data back from Statoil about Verbier and so on. Tell me how that went. What did you raise, and what do you need for this year's campaign? Are you fully financed and so on?
So very soon after the Verbier discovery, we as Jersey Oil and Gas realised that we were onto something potentially very meaningful for the company. So we were very keen to make sure that we had the resources to be able to continue forward and retain our 18% working interest across the whole licence for a future appraisal programme and further exploration. So we went out to the market and had a very successful financing done in short order.
Yeah.
And we were very pleased to attract some very good quality institutional shareholders to the register. We raised just under £24 million, and for our 18% working interest, that will be sufficient for an appraisal programme of Verbier and further exploration on the licence. So for the course of this year, our capex guidance is between £9 and £11 million.
Right,
so we have the sufficient means within the register to keep going. Yeah.
Now, I asked you this question last time you were in. Verbier obviously is the exploration part of your strategy, but I know that you've looked a number of times about making other acquisitions. We talked about an acquisition of production, which I know last time I came over to visit you in your office in Jersey, you're working flat to the boards on. Are you still doing that? How's the acquisition strategy progressing at the moment?
So yes, that's still very much in force. We've looked at a lot of opportunities over the last couple of years. We are active on at least 3 opportunities right now, and we've been working very closely with potential funding partners, particularly on the debt financing to be able to support the acquisition of the production acquisitions that we have in mind. We're mindful of what we found with Verbier. We don't want to lose sight of that, and we've got. I think so. We're going to be very sensible in what we put forward as a recommendation to.
So Verbier, has the discovery of Verbier changed your view about your need for production?
It's made us more mindful about being and sensitive to dilution. So don't expect us to be doing a very large acquisition because we don't want to dilute the upside potential that we have in Verbier. You have to take this back into context. Right now, the market at roughly £2 a share, if you take off the cash, is valuing Verbier at about £20 million. Now that is below what our low case NPV estimate is for the 25 million barrels. Now, this appraisal programme, if we can prove upwards of 130 million barrels, that's potentially worth upwards of £200 million to the
No,
company.
I agree. I mean, this is where
So we get this.
in my last note I put that I thought you had a minimum of 5 times upside, and that's at the bottom of the range.
Right.
Yeah,
So we've got to keep mindful of that. We've raised equity so we can fully fund the appraisal and further exploration of our current license. But we do want to add, and we want to grow.
Would that be in the North Sea? You seem to be,
yes,
you love the North Sea, so that's...
it's entirely North Sea. You have to keep in mind that there's 330 producing oil and gas fields in the North Sea. It's a very active market, increasingly active now that we've come out of what we consider the very low oil price environment. And so there is more A&D activity out there. But we will be doing acquisitions that we think add shareholder value rather than are just bolt-ons for the sake of bolting on.
As your name suggests, you're based in Jersey.
Yes.
I've been over there, so I know that you've got a high-quality team of very experienced people. You don't worry the fact that you're in Jersey. You're going to keep all those good people and add to them. They still happy to come to where you are, and so on. It's a good team.
We've got a very well-rounded team with all the technical skill sets that are required to run a company like ours, but also commercial nous, and I think it's a team that work very well together. We have a collegiate way of operating, but we're also tenacious, hard-working. You'll have seen the effort that we put into running this company, and I think it's really important to stress that every person in our team is a shareholder of Jersey Oil and Gas. We've got skin in the game, good skin in the game, and we are absolutely aligned with shareholders to drive the company forward.
Well, that's good, because my next question, almost as we get to the end, is always about shareholders and cornerstone investors and management. So, first of all, you mentioned briefly earlier on that you've added some institutions during the raise. What does shareholder list look like with institutions and management and retail and so on?
So it's roughly now. It was predominantly retail and management. It's now split between retail, institutional, and management. I would say that the management, give or take, have roughly about 10% of the company, and the rest is split evenly between retail and institutional. So that's from our perspective a very good balance, because it helps keep the momentum going, particularly as we're leading into campaigns like this summer's, but also gives us the stability of as and when we grow further, being able to hopefully keep the company fully funded for the programmes.
Well, it's much more, and you have no debt to speak of, because you're as we spoke this time last year, you've been in a position where the management funded the business to begin with, and now you've taken it to the next stage. Yeah,
so I'm a big believer that it's wrong to in-debt an exploration company. It's fine to have prudent leverage for production and for cash flow. So we are currently debt free, but we do have some very strong relationships with potential debt funders.
And
that we
should
bring
the
on.
deal come along, our time is almost up, I'm afraid. We've done the 20 minutes. It seems to go by more quickly every time we talk. What I always ask at the end is what you think that in what is going to be hopefully another momentous year, where you would expect to see Jersey Oil and Gas in 6 to 12 months' time.
Well, I couldn't have fully predicted last year. We were embarking on an exploration program, albeit with a fantastic operator. There was risk, particularly as we drilled. But we had a terrific result. I mean, really terrific, and that set us up to move forward into this year's campaign. What's interesting is that I think that the market has not fully valued in the potential for Verbier. So I'd like to hope that as we progress towards drilling a Verbier later this summer, there will be excitement within the market and the industry. In fact, actually, I think the industry is probably more excited about Verbier than the market is right now, which is quite interesting. It tells a story in itself. But I think it's going to be a really interesting year for us. Look forward to some really good, solid work program of drilling, and let's hopefully appraise Verbier up to its full potential.
Sounds fantastic. I think the stock is extremely good value, as I've mentioned a number of times. Andrew, thank you very much for coming in. Andrew Benitz is CEO of Jersey Oil and Gas, has been my guest today on Core Finance TV. Thank you very much for watching, and see you again next time.